Hi, second graders. Today we are working on Skills Unit 5, Lesson number 3. Taking a look at our learning targets. What will we be doing in our lesson today? We will be identifying nouns and adjectives in sentences. We will read words with different spellings for the sound. This is a continuation from what we started yesterday. And we will be able to ask and answer questions about key details from the story, The Thief. That's the next story in our Sir Gus reader. Let's go back and remind ourselves, what is an adjective? We talked about this yesterday. What is an adjective? Pause the video and tell someone at home, what is an adjective? An adjective is a describing word. It's a word that describes a noun. So I have an apple. It's just a regular old noun because it's a thing. But if I say the red apple, red would be my adjective. Not any old notebook, but a sparkly notebook. Not just a girl, but a sad girl. And not just a balloon, but a round balloon. So all of those adjectives describe the nouns that they're with. Think about an adjective that describes the clothes that you're wearing today. Miss Perrier is wearing a sweater, but I could say Miss Perrier is wearing a white sweater to describe my noun of sweater. Adjectives can be super helpful words to use as you're describing important details. For example, if you're giving directions and you say, yeah, drive down and turn at that house, the person driving might not know what you're talking about. But if they say turn at the yellow house, then you're helping them to understand. You could give a correct amount for a recipe. Use 1 cup of white sugar. When you order at a restaurant, you could say, I want some eggs. Or you could give an adjective and be specific, saying scrambled eggs or fried eggs. If someone is talking about the weather, they might tell you that it is a rainy day, which helps you to know how to dress before you go outside for that day. Adjectives are also really important for writers because they help to make writing more descriptive and more interesting to read. Let's find nouns and adjectives in the following sentences. We're switching things up a little bit. Our adjectives are going to be circled and our nouns are going to be underlined for this practice activity. White goats jump. Ask yourself, which one's the noun, the person, place, or thing, and which one is the adjective, the word that describes the noun? For this first one, my noun is goats. My adjective that describes my goats, I might say, what kind of goats? And you would say, white goats. Orange hair rocks. Which word's the noun? And which word's the adjective that describes the noun? Hair is a noun because it's a thing. My adjective is orange because it describes my noun. Soft grass sways. Sways is like goes back and forth in the wind. Good, my noun is grass. How would I describe the grass? What kind of grass? It's soft grass. Pink bubblegum pops. Think about my noun and then my adjective that describes my noun. Bubblegum is a noun because it's a thing. What kind of bubblegum, you may ask? Pink bubblegum. That's my adjective is pink. Silly cats dance. Cats is my noun, and how would I describe the cats? What kind of cats are they? They're silly cats. Silly is my adjective because it describes my noun. Loyal dogs stay. Think about which word is a person, place, or thing. Think about which word describes it. Dogs is my noun. My adjective is loyal because it describes the dogs. Smart teachers rule. Yes, they do. Teachers is my noun. Teachers are people. Teachers are people too. Think person, place, or thing. So teachers are people. What kind of teachers rule? Smart teachers rule. Smart is my adjective because it describes. Funny books are great. Books is my noun. What kind of books? I use my adjective to describe the kind of books. Funny books. Brown cows moo. Think about which word is a person, place, or thing, and which word describes that person, place, or thing. Good. Cows are my noun. And my adjective is brown because it describes my cow. Let's talk a little bit more about the spelling that we practiced yesterday. We learned the sound using the spelling for the letter O. Okay, for example, we talked about the word sun. Sun makes an sound, but it uses the letter O to make that sound. Today, we're going to talk about two other spellings for the sound. Remember yesterday I said we're going to learn a handful of them? Yesterday, we practiced the letter U for the sound and the letter O for the sound. Today, our sound is going to be made up of O consonant E and OU. Now, I didn't spend too much time on the video on this yesterday because I didn't want to get you guys caught up on it. But when I see O consonant E, I think magic E. The E reaches behind, pinches the O, and makes them say O, right? Are you thinking the same thing? Most of the time, that's how it works. But sometimes it's not going to be like that. Sometimes it's going to make the sound, okay? So we also have the OU spelling to say and let's take a look at some examples. O consonant E can stand for like the word done. Now this is tricky because you might look at this and say d-o-n. But if you have a sentence that says, I am blank with my homework, would you say I am done with my homework or I am done with my homework? You have to use the context clues to ask yourself what makes sense. So let's practice some of these words. That word said done. This word says none. Repeat the word after me. None. Shove. Glove. Done. Again. Some. Come. Good. So this is a vowel sound. O consonant E is a vowel sound. And remember, we trace vowel sounds in green because green means go and vowel sounds let air out. So take a look at this power bar though. O consonant E is not a very frequent way to say but it is sometimes. We'll see it sometimes. We can also use the digraph OU to make the sound. Now, normally you look at this and you're probably thinking, Miss Perry, you taught us that OU says ow. Most of the time, OU is going to say ow. But sometimes OU stands for the sound For example, the word ch, touch. Okay, let's practice reading some of these words. Untree. Country. Your turn. Young. Your turn. Dug. Your turn. Touch. Your turn. Southern. Your turn. Good. So OU sometimes stands for the sound. This is also a green card because green means go, and our vowel sounds let air out of our mouth. Everybody say Notice no part of your mouth was touching when you said the sound That's why it's green. It's a vowel sound. Notice the power bar here is teeny tiny, just like our O consonant E, but sometimes words are going to use OU to say Very good. All right, let's take a peek at our next story called The Thief in Sir Gus. We're going to be, you're going to read it on your own inside your Google form, but I do want to introduce it to you first and introduce the vocabulary, okay? Repeat this word after me. Thief. Good. Do you know what a thief is? A thief is somebody who steals things. I want you to think about why is it wrong to steal things that don't belong to you. Pause the video and tell someone at home. Today's story is about a thief who steals something from the king. Let's take a look at the spellings. We're going to see our O consonant E spelling that makes the sound. Love and none. I want you to look closely for the words love and none in your story today. We're also going to use OU to say as in country, young, and could. We're also going to see the letter O to make the sound. Agony, and gallop. Compound words means two smaller words together to make a larger word. Bedroom, bedroom. Horse, back, horseback. Sunrise, sunrise. The tricky word in our story today we will see is father. Let's look at the vocabulary. First word is herring. Herring is a very salty fish. The next one says my lord or your majesty. Those are respectful titles for a king. Remember we've talked about how Mr. and Mrs. and Miss are respectful ways to refer to adults. It's just like that, but when you're talking to royalty, a king in this instance, you might call him my lord or your majesty. Summoned means sent for. At the crack of dawn is very early in the morning when the sun is just starting to come up. The next word says mounted. Mounted means you climbed up onto something that's above ground level. Notice the beginning part of mounted looks a lot like the word mountain. Good. If something shot off like an arrow, it means that it started really, really quick. And my last word for right now is agony. If you are in agony, you are in intense pain or suffering. I want you to make a prediction before you read on your own today about how King Alfred's going to react when he finds out that something of his was stolen. And I want you to read carefully to see if your prediction is correct. How's he going to feel when he finds out someone stole something from him? All right. For your Google form today, it's going to be your responsibility to practice some more adjectives, to practice more sounds and spellings for the sound. And you will be responsible for reading The Thief independently today, which means on your own, and then answering a few comprehension questions about it beneath, okay? You guys worked super hard today. I'm very proud of you, and ask questions if you guys need any help, but otherwise work hard, get that Google form turned in, and we will see you for our lesson tomorrow.